Hey, all my quarantine friends, it's Durger time. Welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Night War, where we take NXT go head-to-head with AEW and see who comes out the victor. We had a great show last night. It did pretty okay, I'm going to say. I think we're at a turning point, and that makes me concerned, because I don't want it too easy, if that makes any sense at all. So we have now hit a point where I think we could crush AEW. So, in the spirit of fairness, I tried to give them a helping hand. And we'll see what that is in a little bit. But in addition to that, I am also upping the game in terms of our wheel. Now that NXT is more important, McMahon's guaranteed to have a minimum of 5 opportunities on the wheel at any given time. I've also added parts on the wheel of narratives. So if we have to select a narrative from the wheel, not only do we have to spin it again for another McMahon, but you guys in the comments before the next episode get to select what bad thing happens I input into the game. Could be someone gets hooked on drugs. It could be a sex scandal. It could be anything. Whoever gets the most likes in the comments between now and then will get put in there. So it gives you guys an option to kind of give AEW a bit of a chance by hurting me. And we'll see how this goes as we go forward. So I think it's going to be pretty fun. There's a couple of them in there. I think there's like 6 narratives that are available. So it could get real ugly. Let's go ahead and let's just move on to Monday. As we move towards NXT Live, shouldn't have too many issues right now. Some minor morale issues. Jay Roster. Wow, I can really talk today. Jay White needs to be put on to the roster. Yeah, mid-Carter. We might groom some of this down too, though I kind of like where we're at now, which is why we need to make it a little challenging. So let's go ahead and sim a day over. All right, and we are at our next big opportunity here. Surprise signing by AEW. Try to give them a little bit of firepower. In a shocking press conference, AEW CEO Tony Khan announced the signing and return of CM Punk to All Elite Wrestling. We are very excited to bring the best in the world on board to be All Elite, said Khan. Punk was unable to be reached for a comment at the time of his publication, but a source close to Punk said he was very excited to shake the cobwebs off and get back into the ring. So they got Punk, is my secret weapon for them. And I think it could be a game changer for them. We'll see how it goes. They are 7th place ranking right now. We are 5th, so we are steadily beating them. But the inclusion of CM Punk really could change some stuff. He's a main eventer. I made him loyal to AEW, so he's not going to get scouted elsewhere. His popularity is still high. I did tweak him down a little bit just for realism because he's been out of it for a while, but certainly going to be a big influence for them. I was shocked when we started this. When we started the war, I really expected them to start gobbling up wrestlers, but they never really did. And part of the problem is that they have a very weak mid-card and under, and they only have 1 or 2 big names in their upper, right? So I kind of thought they would start to scout around and try to find people and poach, and they never really did. Like Finn's out there right now, right? So they could just pick up Finn Balor, and it would be a huge deal for them. But the only thing they've done is they extended Chuck Taylor. Finn's just floating out there unemployed with a huge popularity boost, gigantic popularity boost. and just kind of, nah, it's not doing anything. We can't obviously negotiate for him anymore because we fired him. Like, hire him. Hire him now. You just get him. Like, he's going to be huge for you. Doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Very odd. So we gave them a little bit of firepower. Pay raise request. No. You could be furious. So we will see what this really does for them. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it gets us a little bit more competitive because I'm worried that if we found the secret sauce, that we will just run them out of business. So I want it to be a bit of a challenge. I don't want it to just be too easy. Like, ideally, we would be doing this with 2 players, and it would be more interesting. And I would love to maybe in TEW 2020 look at rebooting this and doing it as a 2-player head-to-head. I think it would be a lot of fun. But finding a person to do that, get their system set up, get the schedule set up, it just never really worked out for this. So we're kind of hoping that the AI would do what needed to be done. And I don't really think it has been. And it's been kind of disappointing, to be honest. So maybe we can jump in there and tweak things and help them out. And part of that is the narrative system. So narratives, if you guys don't know, really quickly, we can edit the data and add narratives. Narratives are not used very often in the real world mods, and I really think they should be. And I'm hoping 2020 adds more features to these narratives because they add a lot of spice to the world. So obviously CM Punk signing to AEW was a narrative I added. I also had to do some tweaking in the back, but it added a huge company prestige boost. Don't worry about this. I had to do some real funky chicken work to make CM Punk join the roster. I won't go into it. If you want to know more about it, ask me in the comments and I'll tell you how the hell I made this happen. It's real crazy. It's real crazy. But I gave the company a huge prestige boost as high as I could. So it's going to give them as much momentum as they can. But we have the option to do a whole bunch of effects that we can do things to the workers, to the companies. We can give economy booms, give people performance differences, anything like that. So think about what horrible things you want to do to NXT to give to AEW. And if the McMahon wheel, if one of those narratives pop up, we're going to take your guys' opinions and your guys' thoughts. We're going to add it into the game to give AEW a fighting chance. I think it makes it fair, makes it competitive, makes it a little bit more interesting. All right, let's go ahead and let's get over to NXT. Okay. Nothing else crazy in the news here, right? No other major hirings, no. See, like, they should be hiring these people. They should be scooping up people. I don't know what is going on there. Contract is up for renewal, so he can be contracted with other offers. Do you have any rivals? No. We'll wait for a second to see what his rivals are. All right. Not much else behind the scenes we really got to do, so let's just go ahead and book live. I think we're leading up to TakeOver Philadelphia, if that's right. I screwed it up. Not be able to look at it now. I think we have Philadelphia after this, so we haven't really booked well to a pay-per-view. So we kind of have to come up with some angles, right, to work with. Part of it might be adding another person for the number one contenders spot, and then have because we don't actually have anybody as a champion right now, because it was Luke Gallows and then Montez Ford. So we might have to. I think let's do a triple threat or something like that. That could be fun. So we'll get 2 other people to be number one contenders, and then at TakeOver Philadelphia, we'll have them clash it out. could be a lot of fun. All right, what do we got going on here? We do have a locker room incident. I thought I saw. Yep. Incident involving Storm. No, organize a poker tournament. That sounds about right. Nothing else. Still 100% locker room. Fucking metal. Anybody? Sure. And we are still going to be... No, I want the Full Sail Arena. Size venue. Perfect. All right, so... Like I said, we got a little bit we have to do, but we know we want... We know what we have to do in terms of the storylines. Obviously, Jay Lethal is one of our number one contenders. We have to find, I think, maybe two other ones so we can have a nice triple threat. Could be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll have a ladder match even. That could be kind of neat. Dark Candace and The Fiend are going after Keith Lee, so they're probably not going to be part of that contendership. Instead, he's going after Keith Lee for the title. And then other than that, we really don't have other lingering. We kind of have the Revival going after Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers seem like they're going to be part of the tag team title scene. And then obviously we have the storyline between Dishonored and the new Undisputed Era kind of blowing off. Actually, I don't know why I said I have nothing going on. I have like 45 things going on. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Kind of teaming up, and then obviously going to be facing off against Sasha, and then Matt Riddle. We got a lot. I don't know what I'm saying. We got a lot going on. For some reason, I felt like we had like no storylines leading up to things. We have a lot of blow-offs that we have. So let's go ahead and let's book the show, and let's make a good and go home show for TakeOver. All right, guys, we are ready. Not quite to full capacity. I actually wasn't able to fully book everything I kind of wanted, but I got the story beats, I think, to lead up to TakeOver. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see if this works out. And hopefully it's good. I don't know. I don't know what the score is going to be. Let's go ahead and look. So we kind of cheat, but I mean, that's what it is. Triple H comes out and announces a triple threat ladder match for the NXT title that's been vacant since Luke Gallows left. And the other two competitors will be found on one-on-one action based on their merit tonight. It's pretty good. Afterwards, we have actually a really decent women's division tag match. We have Sasha versus and Jessie Kamea versus Ronda and Shayna. It's actually pretty decent. Ronda and Shayna defeat Sasha and Jessie in 10 minutes after basically Sasha gets thrown outside, gets interfered with Shayna, and then Jessie ends up getting the armbar on, or Ronda gets the armbar on Jessie and seals the deal. Ronda is looking great. Definitely way higher on performance than the rest of them. That seems just odd to me. Weird mod making things. I don't know if I would actually put her at performance that high, but I guess it might be a popularity pushing her up. Overall, gets a C-. It's actually really great for this early in the card and with the women's division. Afterwards, we have a really great segment. Sasha ends up attacking Ronda Rousey and brawling with her. Ultimately, though, getting overwhelmed after Shayna interjects, and it's a 2-on-1, building up to the title match, obviously, at TakeOver. Got the crowd hotter. Shayna actually underperformed. All right, now that's the NXT I'm looking at. That's the rating that I know and love. We got Adam Cole and Roderick Strong for the second number one contender spot for NXT TakeOver. And Adam Cole defeats Roderick Strong in 11 minutes. Got the crowd buzzing. 49 for Cole, 54 for Strong. Cole's improving in performance, and that looks about right, honestly. Same thing, kind of about right for what we have here. But it's a squash match. It's actually like a overbooked mayhem brawl, just trying to build Briscoes as a maniac group. Obviously, they are now part of the new Undisputed Era, playing off the idea that the Undisputed Era was just former Ring of Honor people, and obviously the other group is literally other Ring of Honor people. I thought it'd be kind of fun. But the Briscoes end up defeating Forgotten Sons in 9 minutes. Really, most of it is Cutler and Blake just not cutting it, but it's what we have. It's fine. Afterwards, this actually did worse than I thought. Jay is rough on the mic, though. Briscoe say they want to get crazy, and then he noted the new Undisputed Era versus Dishonored match is happening at TakeOver, but they want it in a cage. Cage match. After that, we have Bray Wyatt backstage as Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend. Candice holding his mask behind him, and Bray says that Keith will fall like the rest of them. He thinks he's unstoppable. He thinks that he can overcome all the odds, but he's not seen true odds until he faces him. Gets the crowd really hot. Bray looked good. About what you would want, pretty good rating. Also, really great rating. Keith Lee crushing it in these. We have Keith Lee cuts a promo on the Fiend, kind of almost responding to the backstage. Says he's not afraid of him. He'll see him in Philadelphia. The open challenge always stands, and he knows he'll survive. But opens up the challenge tonight. He says there's not a day that I don't want to have an open challenge. So whoever's got some, let's strap for a strap. Let's go. And obviously gained some heat with the rise of Keith Lee. He's being pushed to the moon. It's looking great. This match is not as great, but it's kind of what we would expect, especially considering Jackson Riker's in it. Keith Lee had a 47. Jackson Riker had a 37. Keith Lee is better as a character than he's a wrestler right now, but that's fine. We can work with that, right? They don't click, though. They get a huge negative bonus. They have negative chemistry. But ultimately, Keith Lee defeats Jackson Riker, makes defense number 4 of the NXT North American title. That's an underwhelming match, unfortunately. After that, we have a interview with Kathy Kelly in the back, talking to Zack Ryder about the situation with Xavier Woods, what happened. They were best friends. They used to buy toys together, be on streams together, on Twitch together. And he says that, Xavier is a different person now. There's something in him that darkness is brewing, something pent up. And he just wants his friend back. And if he needs to knock some sense into him, that's what he'll do. And they are in the main event together tonight in a tag match. So it actually loses heat with the storyline. We'll probably have to end this at some point, probably at TakeOver. But we'll see what we have to do here. This is a pretty poor match, unfortunately. Velveteen Dream. This is the second number 1 contendership match of the night. Velveteen Dream defeats Johnny Gargano in 15 minutes with a fast roll-up. Kind of cheats to get there. Dream had a 44. Gargano had a 46. Dream is improving in performance. It's underwhelming. Though Gargano is underrated, I think, in the mod in terms of performance, and I think Dream is underrated in terms of almost everything, probably but match performance. I feel like that is right, because he's a better character than he is a wrestler, because he's so new. But I feel like even his character work is underrated in the mod. And as we go into TEW 2020, if we reboot the series or continue with it with the save, I might take some time to look into it and update it. It depends on how long the war will go. Obviously, we have a match graphic afterwards indicating that Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, and Jay Lethal are all going to be fighting in a triple threat ladder match for the NXT Championship at TakeOver. And in the main event, we have Xavier Woods and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Zack Ryder and Matt Riddle. Xavier Woods and Zack Sabre actually win the match, defeating Riddle and Ryder 20 minutes, Xavier Woods ends up defeating Zack Ryder by pinfall by using underhanded tactics. He kind of grabs his tights and kind of messes with them. Zack Ryder's the weak link, actually, believe it or not. Yeah. Sabre had 65, Woods had a 63, Riddle had a 62, and poor Zack Ryder, woo, only had a 48. Xavier Woods and don't work well as a team. Interesting. Well, that shoots any plans there. Not necessarily had any plans. This is really just to get it's the age-old tactic of having a tag team fight against each other, but or having two storylines converge in a tag team match so that you don't actually give the match away for free. We do boost up the Zack Sabre and Matt Riddle storyline though, which is good. Yeah, it's a little underwhelming for a main event. Ooh, 67 C+. We might win this week, but that's getting a lot closer. Trying to get that undercard in and trying to fill out that storyline. This is not looking as good as it was last week. We'll have to see what we actually are working with. Getting a little nervous, actually. All right. So, NXT Live was a 67, a C+, with a 2.18 rating on the TV. So, not bad. Definitely not as good as our previous shows. Dynamite, though. So, 67. Remember not to screw this up again. Oh! Dynamite, what the hell did you do? Why aren't you using CM Punk at all? What a bad show. What did the fans say? Hardly spectacular. What the hell? Oh boy. Well, I didn't necessarily expect the win there. Why are you not using your... You got a big major name. What are you doing? Okay. Well, drug user. Whatever. Fine him. Jay. Fine him. Jay Lethal hanging out with Gunner backstage. So we should probably renew Bray Wyatt's contract at some point. So we have TakeOver coming up. We have the storyline. What is going on? AEW, you have freaking CM Punk. Active wrestler. Seeing if I screwed anything up. You put him on. You put him on your freaking show. You would have done billions. Billions of watches. Billions of views. What? But you did that. You did fucking nothing. What was that? No, that was us. You did what is that? 51. Yeah, you really needed that Sonny Kiss versus Michael Nakazawa match, huh? And you had a... Okay. Man. You try to give them every advantage. Well, looks like that bar moves over. And it's time for the wheel. Now, we do have more opportunity for the wheel. So let's go ahead and let's jump to the wheel and see what damage will be done to us. All right. Let's go ahead and spin it. There are more McMahons. We're starting at 5 now. So there's more opportunity as the stakes are risen to give us more chance to see some medals. We haven't seen some medals in a while. I almost miss them. Well.
Oh, it's such good shit.
Ask and you shall receive, I suppose. All right, let's jump over to the other wheel and see what horribleness happens. All right, guys, let's spin it. See what horrible things happen. Remember, we do have narratives potentially in here, so if we hit one of those, I'm going to need your suggestions, and we're going to have to spin again to get another McMahon suggestion. All right, well, that actually wasn't too bad. Buff the tag team division, put two wrestlers together to form a new tag team. That's not the worst drama that could have happened, but we're going to have to figure out who to put together and push them at TakeOver. Not the end of the world, certainly, but some options that we have in there. But I guess that's it. I'm relieved, but also kind of shocked that they didn't utilize their major talent to crush us there. Don't know what more you could be given than that's basically the keys to the castle. But it is what it is. We have won another night. It is now looking like might be a sure thing. This series may end sooner than we anticipated because we do have a pay-per-view which is basically double points. So we'll have to take a look and see what happens. Just real quick, anything happen in terms of hiring or anything? No. Nothing at all. So they've not really moved on that front at all, interestingly enough, including some big names out there. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I will see you next time for another Wednesday Night War. We'll be watching for TakeOver. See you next time.